Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Gilded Tarot by Cyril Marchetti. There's a website at the bottom here, llewellyn.com. This is an older deck. Current website, I believe, is usgamesinc.com. But if you look up Cyril in tarot, Cyril Marchetti, you should easily find what you're looking for if you're looking for their stuff. Supportive Oracle Cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle Cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen Raish Baskin. Websites here, torihartman.com, watkinspublishing.co.uk or .com. Feel free to freeze frame if you want any of that information as well. Okay. What do we have for Sagittarius? I get like a happy energy. And I'm seeing like a couple conflict cards, so I'm like, what's going on with that? Could we have like, yeah, it's time. It's time. What does that mean? It's time. This destiny in the destiny. Destiny is destiny, right? Don't delay. Something here is going in a circle. It's kind of like, I'm starting to question if it even matters what I'm doing, because I keep going in a circle. It's almost like I go from the kitchen to the bedroom to the bathroom, the kitchen to the bedroom to the bathroom, and I just keep picking up the same mess, I feel. It's like I keep chasing the same little kid around, and they just keep creating the same mess. It's just like, it is not even my kid. It is almost like that, too. It's like, it's not even my kid. Not even my kid. I'm going around picking up these messes, and I'm like, what am I doing, and why am I doing it? Maybe at one point it seemed like it made sense, but it's at this point I'm like, this isn't even my kid. This isn't even my kid. That's where this is starting. Like, I feel like I'm starting to see something as a repetitious pattern. Clearly that's an analogy. But I immediately got that there's a lot of you in a work situation where you're constantly picking up messes and it's not even your responsibility. It's kind of like that. I feel like that's the better analogy, maybe. Kind of like you're constantly cleaning up messes that it's not even your responsibility, and you're like, why don't I just leave it on the floor? Might as well just, it's not even my house. Not even my house. I mean, I work here, I live here, but I can move. It's like, why? Because you keep doing what you're doing, people are ignoring problems. I want to say you're not meaning to enable a bad situation. You're actually thinking you're helping. You're trying to do what's right. You're trying to keep things going. You're trying to be helpful. But what's supposed to happen in this situation is when you're cleaning up these messes, somebody else needs to be paying attention, like, oh, isn't that nice? Sagittarius is helping us. Before that keeps going or becomes a pattern, maybe we should fix it. And instead of them fixing it, they're like, oh, don't worry about it. Sagittarius will pick it up. Don't worry, Sagittarius will get it. Yeah, it's fine. And I feel like you're starting to realize this, like, this isn't working. You're enabling. It maybe didn't start out that way, but I feel like that's where it got to. And I think you're starting to see it. And you're not here to be an enabler. I feel like once you realize that's what's happening, you're going to be like, no, that's not, no. Like, no, I'm not here for that. It's not why I signed up for this. Confusion. There's a bit of confusion that hits, bam. People are expecting you at this point. They're really taking you for granted on top of this. They seem to have the attitude, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't go around picking up all these messes. I don't have time for that. So Sagittarius needs to have time for that because I don't. And it's not something I should have to do. Well, maybe they shouldn't have to do that, but that doesn't mean you should. Just because they shouldn't doesn't mean you should. Like, they're going to have to deal with that on their own. Something is coming in. The balance is being restruck. The High Priestess with the Four of Wands. I kind of get this live by the sword, die by the sword situation. Kind of like, you know, if you insist that you're not, it's not you, it's them. If they insist that they're not going to handle whatever this is, they're just going to leave it on you, even though it's not your responsibility. Live by the sword, die by the sword. If they're not going to pick it up, I feel like at some point you're going to stop picking it up, and it's just going to be, well, it's either pick it up or live in a pile of trash, one of the two. Because the high priestess doesn't play favorites. Kind of like, this is how this is supposed to work. If you don't want to do what you're supposed to, then you're just going to sit there in the middle of it, and that's how it's going to work. And that's them. Because I think you're ditching this. I think it's time to. Because you're starting to see all your effort going nowhere. All your efforts being wasted. That's not... No, not okay with that. Because it feels like it's wasted. It feels like it's wasted effort. You could be making a difference somewhere else. You're not interested in this. And once you see that, I don't even think you're going to be shy about it. I don't think you're going to be shy at all. You're just going to be like, hey, I'm not coming back. So I don't feel like I'm pointing out like there's going to be messes. But like maybe you'll clean it up maybe one last time and you're like, hey, I'm out. I'm not going to be doing this anymore. I just wanted to let you know. And then you just walk away. It causes a lot of confusion, a lot of disruption. It does. But you're like, hey, that's on you. I feel like I'm okay with it. I feel like you're kind of like, I feel like a happy energy. Kind of like, oh, you thought I was just going to be here so you can use me, huh? Good luck. I feel kind of happy about it. Kind of like, and I'm not going to go back there and pick it up this time either because it does no good. I could be much more useful somewhere else. I'm not here just to enable somebody. I'm not going to do it. You're walking away. You're walking away and you're going towards something else. I've had enough of this. I've had enough of like enabling people who don't want to help themselves. They want to have this game of where they're not, it's not their fault, it's not their responsibility. Well, it surely isn't mine either. So I guess I'll walk away, and wherever it hits, it hits. Wherever it lands, it lands. But it's not for me. I need to go. I was trying to be helpful to help them get back on their feet, not enable them to just do all this ridiculous stuff. That's the thing. You were willing to help them get back on their feet so they could fix it, not to be like their permanent Band-Aid. It wasn't going to happen. Band-Aids aren't meant to be permanent. You know what I mean? Like seriously, like I feel like some people don't realize that. Like when you have a Band-Aid, it becomes obsolete one way or another. If the wound isn't healing, it can then hold bad things there. It needs to be cleaned, or it's going to hold bad things there and just going to make something that was going good actually go bad later. So it's not worth it. Like Band-Aids are not meant to be permanent. You know what I mean? You got a lot. You go whatever the next situation is. You jump right into it, and you're too busy with that to even turn around anyway. People may be upset, but you're like, well, they're upset, I guess. You're going center on where you're going next. I keep getting center on where you're going next because I'm getting like better things coming for you. Feels like there's a lot of analytical. You have to use your brain a lot in the next one. Whatever the situation is you're going into, your brain is really, you got a lot going on. Your brain is very active. I'm getting that with the star card. It seems to be very engaging. It seems to be working for you. I know that Sagittarius is a very active energy, but this is a very like active brain activity. Growth, good things moving forward, keeping an eye on things a little bit better. Seems very much more intellectual where you're going next. I don't know if that's something you want to go towards, but I do get like it goes forward very quickly. I feel like you're also helping people hold things together better in the next situation. There's too much going on mentally in the next situation. I don't think you're going to have time to think about the one you're leaving behind. It's completely over. Whatever that was, you're walking on from it. You're not going to have time to worry about it. If people decide they don't want to evolve, that's their problem. I see this pop, like they don't seem to want to move forward. They don't seem to want to. That situation might have a lot of difficulties because you're moving on, but it needs to, because it's not going to fix until it's so heavy that that's all they have is they have to fix it. So if it has to get that heavy to where they have no choice but to fix it, that's not your fault. You know what I mean? They had a chance. You were trying to help them. They just want to see you as a permanent Band-Aid. That's on them. It's totally on them. A lot of intellectual. I keep coming back into this intellectual. I feel like what they're saying is like, don't leave this thinking maybe you could spot check or go back and do this and do that. Realize when you walk away, like you're not coming back. So leave anything you need to there. If you want to leave instruction before you go, if you feel like that's necessary, like if you're like, well, I'll answer that when people ask me, leave a note, leave an email, whatever you got to do to let people know where things are if you need to. But realize you're not going to have the time to go back. Even if you thought to yourself, well, maybe they'll email me a question and I'll email them back an answer, you probably won't even have time for that. Like, they might email you a question, and it may be a couple days before you get back to it. By the time you get back to it, they already had to figure it out anyway. So you're going to be too busy. You're going to be too busy in the next one. A lot going on, a lot of intellectual activity, way too busy going forward. I almost feel like for a lot of you, the point of this reading is to kind of like not feel bad about it and just, you know it's wrong, you know it's not working, just walk away. Just do it the one last time, leave your messages or leave your instructions if you need to, and just moving on. You're not going to have time to look back. You're just not going to have time for it. Alright, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.